is a reality we must acknowledge. Al-mawtu haqqun. That's why when they read the janazah or the funeral, sometimes the imam reads the talqeen, what they call, it's al-mawtu haqqun. Death is a reality, it's inevitable. We witnessed this week in my own in-laws, someone passed away. And also, of course, we witnessed the passing of Mutakasim Omar, the father of our beloved Imam, Dr. Imam Rashid Omar, last week. But that is life. And this is very important to understand. That some days, some here will come to my funeral, and be rest assured, I may come to some of your funerals. And this is the reality of life. Not to be morbid about that reality, but to realize that life is temporary. We are going to come to someone's janazah here someday. May Allah give everyone long life. That reality you cannot escape. Whether a good person or a salih person or a corrupt person, does not matter. Death will overtake you. أينما تكونوا يدرككم الموت. Wherever you are, death will come and fetch you. So life is a kaleidoscope. From the verse we saw, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ. All the realities of life. Life is a kaleidoscope of inescapable situations. Health and sickness are real. Joy and sadness, gain and loss, laughter and tears, birth and joy, grief, death. It's all realities of life. So that's why we see we live in a world of cause and effect. The consequences of these are inescapable. When you are born, you are going to die. There's no immunity from that. And this is the world. The fire burns, disease infect, time ages, at least some of us, germs destroy, water drowns. These facts have moral and social implications. And all of these are realities with which we have to contend. It is how we deal with these realities when they happen. It's how we deal with these realities, with sickness, with death, with joy. Sometimes the person is tested in different ways. Sometimes people are tested by difficulty. And ulama say, and the spiritual Sufis say, when you go through hardship, it's an easier test, because you know what? Anyone who lost some loved one or lost his job, believe me, he's going to mosque or church or something. Sometimes Allah tests you with wealth. You don't need God anymore. You don't need anyone anymore. That's the worst test. Because now you feel self-sufficient. And you don't turn to anyone. That's the time when you can really go and become so haughty and arrogant, realizing the purpose of life. So, it's how we deal with these realities that will determine how we chart the course of our lives. A sage once said, life is not the way it is supposed to be. Life is the way it is. The way you cope with it will make the difference in your life. Indeed, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ. Each living thing must taste death. The Quran says, ثُمَّ إِلَيْنَا تُرْجَعُونَ. And then to Allah lead our eventual return. There's no avoidance of birth or death. We don't choose to be born. Nor do we choose which family to be born in. We are born. We are not born by choice. So there's no avoidance of birth, nor of death. Except we have the choice to utilize the interval between birth and death effectively. Allah did not make this world a permanent place. Realize that. Though we are impermanent, even the world itself is impermanent. Allah did not make this world a permanent place. This is a temporary world, and everything here is finite, and all things have a time limit. Neither are the good things in the world forever, nor are the bad things eternal. We know, however, that when we experience tragedy, we do cry. When Hamza passed away from uncle to Uhud, he cried tremendously. When his son Ibrahim died, evidence of him crying. We do cry. But we also know that tragedy carries with it a tremendous power. Power to cause grief, power to cause mourning, power to cause sadness. It also carries power to cause cooperation. People who may not talk to Imam Rashid Umar for many years, they may never come to the masjid. His father passed away, condolence to the brothers and family. It has that power. You may not speak to a cousin of yours, a nephew, they come to your funeral. They may not come to your wedding, but they'll come to the funeral. There's something about grief that somehow, for those who have even a bit of heart, it causes some kind of cooperation. It causes reflection. You think someone was here last week in the masjid, sitting there, today he's not here. And the power to cause change. The power to cause change. Being Being a person of faith, do realize this, people, does not absolve anyone from the reality of tragedy or suffering. Just because you're a faithful person, it does not mean that you won't go through grief. The Prophet ﷺ, in a society which boasted about its sons, he buried each and every one of his 3 sons in his lifetime. Not only that, he buried them in their infancy. None of them reached the age of 7. And then the only person surviving was a daughter. In those days, of course, before the Prophet's time, daughter didn't count at all. And she's the one through whom the lineage of the Prophet has come through to us. This is life. Being a person of faith does not absolve anyone from the reality of suffering. Belief is not some kind of spiritual inoculation which will provide immunity from all that is difficult and painful. Prophets are the ideal models of excellence. All of them were chosen by Allah to guide humanity at different phases of history. Yet all of them, each and every one, endured tremendous trials and tribulations to the extent that Rasulullah is reported to have said, أَشَدُّ النَّاسِ بَلَاءٌ أَنْبِيَاء. The people who were the most tested were the prophets. They were most patient and persevering. The suffering of loss and grief. The grief endured by Yaqub alayhi salam over the separation of his beloved Yusuf is well documented in the Quran, that he cried until he became blind. I do not know if the crying causes blindness, but the sadness and all the combination affected it. But the point I'm making is, that's what happened to you. But faith, it does put grief in perspective. For the one who has faith, it can put your grief in perspective. Someone died, you buried someone, how would a person of faith deal with it? Faith can give you a perspective on how to deal with grief. You cannot remove the grief. You cannot remove the reality of the grief. You cannot remove death. So though faith may not prevent grief, faith puts grief in perspective. Faith provides a philosophy of living that emphasizes the realities of life and the inevitability of death. And in the larger context of our existence, we realize that life and death are the ebb and flow of existence. That is why patience is strongly emphasized as a means of coping with the trials and tribulations of daily living. That's why the verse I read, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ. Allah will test you with all different tests. And it concludes, وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. The verse we read when we hear bad news. الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ. Those when they are afflicted with some kind of difficulty or trial or tribulation or hurt, they say, إِنَّا لِلَّهِ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. Allah, we are already born into the loop of death. Once we are born into the loop of death. We don't know how big the circle is, 80 years, 90 years, or 20 or 21 years. Imam Zayn al-Abidin al-Sajjad, great-grandson of the Prophet ﷺ, when asked about the signs of a believer, he said, عَلَامَةُ الْمُؤْمِنِ خَمْسٌ. The signs of a true believer are 5. الْوَرَعَ فِي الْخَلْوَةِ وَالصَّدَقَةُ فِي الْقِلَّةِ وَالْحِلْمُ عِنْدَ الْغَضَبِ وَالصِّدْقُ عِنْدَ الْخَوْفِ وَالصَّبْرُ عِنْدَ الْمُصِيبَةِ. Righteousness in privacy and in public. Generosity to others even when you are in need. A sense of control when you are angry. Truthfulness even if you are afraid. And patient perseverance during times of trials and tribulation. What are the keys to the sabr? The sabr of whom the Rasul said, as-sabru nisful iman. That sabr is half of faith. First one is to understand and acknowledge the fact that life, that wealth, that health, that youth, friends, position, possessions, dear ones, all of these are temporary. That is the reality you have to accept. كُلُّ مَنْ عَلَيْهَا فَانٍ. Everything ceases to exist or ceases to live in this physical world. And from Allah we come, and to Allah is our return. Second reality. Third, living in this world is a short phase of existence, and there's the eternity that follows. This world is a short phase of existence. There's an eternity that follows. Our status in the existence beyond this life depends by the mercy of Allah on the good we do while we are here. What we do with our eternity is dependent upon what we do with our lives here. Prophet ﷺ, when describing the characteristics of a believer, he said, or rather, who are the best of people? Ahsanun Nas, he said, أحسنوا استبشروا وإذا أساءوا استغفروا وإذا أعطوا شكروا وإذا ابتلوا صبروا وإذا غضبوا غفروا. He said, the best of people are those who are cheerful when they do good. They don't do good and feel bad about, oh my God, I've got to feed the poor, there's a car again, oh my goodness. They are cheerful when they do good, they are cheerful about it. They don't say, oh Ramadan, they go, oh, here we go again. They are cheerful about doing good. Who are repentant when they do wrong. They repent when they do wrong. All human beings are, except the prophets who are not sinful, but everybody errs. And sin we all commit, except those who are safe from Allah by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like the prophets. They may err, I believe, they don't sin. Those who are grateful when they receive, and those who show patience when they are in difficulty, and those who have the capacity to forgive even when they are angry. Those who are cheerful when they do good, the Rasul said, those who are repentant when they do wrong, those who are grateful when they receive something, they don't get and forget, but they give and forgive. Who show patience when they are in difficulty, and pardon others when they are angry. And that's why the Rasul said, the believer has this balance. And I mentioned this in the Ramadan talk last year. عَجَبًا لِأَمْرِ الْمُؤْمِنِ إِنَّ أَمْرَهُ كُلَّهُ خَيْرٌ. Unique is the case of the believer, the Rasulullah said, hadith documented by Imam al-Tirmidhi. Unique is the case of a believer in any circumstances. There's goodness for him or for her. In any circumstance. إِذَا أَصَابَتُ سَرَّاءَ شَكَرَ فَكَانَ خَيْرٌ لَهُ وَإِنْ أَصَابَتُ ضَرَّاءَ صَبَرَ فَكَانَ خَيْرٌ لَهُ. When something good happens, they are happy, they celebrate, and they are thankful for that. And the thankfulness is good for them. Not the celebration, not what happened to them, but the thankfulness is good for them. وَإِذَا أَصَابَتُ الضَّرَّاءَ صَبَرَ فَكَانَ خَيْرٌ لَهُ. And when they go through trial and tribulation, they're able to patiently persevere, and patient perseverance is good for them. Not the grief, not the death, the patient perseverance is good for them. I mentioned the words of one of the companions of the Prophet Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, who said, إِذَا أَمْسَيْتَ فَلَا تَنْتَظِرِ الصَّبَاحَ وَإِذَا أَصْبَحْتَ فَلَا تَنْتَظِرِ الْمَسَاءَ. When you wake up in the morning, there's no guarantee you'll go to sleep tonight. When you go to bed tonight, there's no guarantee you'll wake up tomorrow morning. فَخُذْ بِالْصِحَّةِ كَلِمَةً. So take from your health what will help you when you are ill. It's very important. You know, when a person has whatever disease they may have, sometimes they have inevitable things that happen to you. Maybe you have a family history of heart or whatever it may be. But then check your weight, check what you eat, check your diet, certain things, to make sure that when you do get sick, if you're compounded by other things. I don't take extra sugar, I got sugar now, it doesn't matter, I don't take sugar. No. I may get an illness further in my life, I may suffer from it somewhat, but don't compound it by your behavior. Don't refuse to do exercise for that matter. Or drink a walk, or don't drink water, do that. So take from your health what will help you in illness. And take from your life what will benefit you after your death. We must find ways, more ways amongst ourselves. It's very important this time of Easter when we think about, I'm not going to the debate about whether Isa was crucified and so on. I clarified that point somewhat, but so the topic here for us is introspection and reflection. We must find more ways to help in sharing the burden of others and to make life more pleasant. We do it when we go to a funeral. Why don't we do it always? Why do we speak good about somebody when they passed away? Somebody never noticed that. You never said one word about you and greet the man. You always hear the goodness of people after they die. It's nice. Speak good of the people who have passed on. But how come we wait for people to die and then we remember what our mother did for us and our grandmother did that, and oh, she made that soup for me and it's like in Ramadan, she made that for me. How do you remember this and we never thankful when you are alive? How can we tell other people about it? The person who did it never knows that you appreciate it or notice it. Let's find more ways in sharing the burden of others and making life more pleasant. We must learn to forgive any hurt or injuries that come our way and treat others as we ourselves wish to be treated. The beautiful saying among the Sufis, they say, "Oh Allah, let other people treat me tomorrow the way I have treated them today. Oh Allah, let other people treat me tomorrow the way I have treated them today." We must be more cognizant of the fact, more aware of the fact that our smiles, our words, our expressions, our support, our touch, our kind word can make a difference to someone somewhere who's wrestling with some misfortune of life. We realize more than ever that all life will come to an end someday. That our existence in this world is like a brief crack of light between two periods of darkness, before birth and after death. And that death is certain, and death will come and fetch us wherever we are. That every day we live is a day further from our birth, and every breath we breathe is a breath closer to our death. As certain as we are about the occurrence of death, so uncertain are we about the timing, and therefore we are instructed to act as if every act could be your last. Rasulullah says, you pray as if it's your last prayer. Another hadith, pray as if the next prayer will be the prayer of janazah over your body. And that's why he said, عِشْ مَا شِئْتَ فَإِنَّكَ مَيِّتٌ وَأَحْبِبْ مَا أَحْبَبْتَ فَإِنَّكَ مُفَارَقٌ. But the Rasul said, live the way you want to live, it is your choice, but remember someday you'll die. And love what you want to love is your choice, but someday you will be separated. And that's why he made a dua which I always say, اللهم اجعل الحياة زيادة لنا في كل خير واجعل الموت راحة لنا من كل شر. Oh Allah, let every moment of life be an opportunity for increased goodness. And rather than death comes, than we being engaged in evil and corruption. Our lives are but footnotes on the pages of history. Each one of us has his or her own life, and each life is a unique story. No one is unimportant, because Allah made you, and Allah doesn't make unnecessary things. Allah made you important. If you say I'm nothing, not in a humble sense, but in the sense that lack of self-esteem, then you mean you insulting the creation of Allah. Allah doesn't make nothing. Our lives are but footnotes to the page of history. And each has his or her own life. And each life is a unique story. And sometimes we enter into each other's lives and become a temporary part of each other's lives. Or sometimes we become a permanent part of each other's lives. And therefore, of each other's stories. But all our lives are part of one large story. The important question is, how do we as individuals contribute to the larger story? That's why I said in Ali, Karramallah, what is it? خالق الناس مخالطا إن متم معها بكوا عليكم وإن عشتم حنوا إليكم. Socialize with people in such a way that when you die, they mourn for you. And as long as you're alive, they desire to be in your company. I leave you with the words, and maybe live the life in such a way that we can be like this and say this. Jalaluddin Rumi, when people knew he was about to pass away, and people were in tears, and he said, don't cry at our departure. Jalaluddin Rumi said, do not cry at our departure, but rather remember the fond memories we shared. Do not cry at our departure. That's why make life a series of fond memories. Say kind words. Don't gossip. Don't say bad things. You create a negative vibe, a negative aura. Say good things. You can't say good, why say bad? Why wait 20 seconds or 1 minute of your life on something bad? Say, just say good. Or keep quiet. Prophet said, say something good or remain silent. Say something good or remain silent. So he said, when we die, he said, don't cry, smile, and remember the fond memories we shared. And do not search for us in the graveyards of the world. Do not search for our tombs in the graveyards of the world, but search for us in the hearts of the people that we have touched. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم. وقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له ولي من الذل وكبره تكبيرا. الله أكبر. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فلا مضل له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا ورسولنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا وسيدنا وسندنا ومولانا محمد عبده ورسوله. قال الله تعالى في شأن حبيبه يا أيها النبي إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا. فقال الله تعالى مخبرا وآمرا قولا كريما إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. اللهم اشف مرضانا وارحم موتانا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اشف من تشافي، لا شفاء إلا شفاء وشفاء لا يغادر سقما. اللهم اغفر لحينا وميتنا وشاهدنا وغائبنا وصغيرنا وكبيرنا وذكرنا وأنثانا. اللهم من أحييته منا فأحيي على الإسلام، من توفيته منا فتوفه على الإيمان. اللهم اغفر لجميع المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات، ارفع لهم الدرجات وكفر عنهم السيئات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. ولذكر الله أكبر، ولذكر الله أكبر، والله يعلم ما تصنعون. في الصلاة.